What would happen if you gave an AI $100 and permission to trade with it? Not to give you advice, not to tell you whether Bitcoin might go up or down, but to actually access a trading account, analyze the market, and place orders itself. Until recently, that sounded like something you would build yourself using APIs, trading bots, and a lot of code, but Binance just introduced something called Agent OS, and it could be an early look at what happens when AI stops simply answering questions and starts controlling real financial tools. Now, first of all, this is not a magical Binance bot that automatically makes money. That's important. Binance isn't giving you an AI trader with a secret strategy. Instead, Agent OS creates the infrastructure that allows AI agents to interact with Binance. That means an agent can access market data, inspect account information, and, if you give it permission, execute trades. And it works with tools people already use, including ChatGPT and Codex, Claude Code, and Cursor. So imagine opening an AI agent and saying, analyze Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Compare their current momentum, volume, and volatility. Then tell me which one looks the strongest. That's already useful, but now imagine adding one more instruction. If the conditions match my strategy, prepare a trade, and then execute it. At that point, you're no longer using AI as an analyst. You're giving it the ability to act. And that's the part I find much more interesting. Because the last generation of AI was mostly about information. You asked ChatGPT a question. It generated an answer. Maybe you copied that answer somewhere else and did something with it. Agentic AI changes that. The AI can potentially receive a goal, use tools, collect information, make decisions, and perform actions without you manually completing every step. So I started thinking about a simple experiment. What if I gave an AI agent exactly $100? Nothing crazy, no leverage, no futures, just $100 in a separate account, and then gave it strict rules. For example, never risk more than $20 on one position, never have more than 3 positions open, stop trading if the portfolio loses 3% in one day, consider trading fees before every decision, and never withdraw or transfer any money. Then I could give the AI access to live market information and ask it to manage that portfolio. The interesting question isn't whether it can make one profitable trade. Almost anyone can get lucky once. The real question is, can an AI make a sequence of reasonable decisions? Can it avoid overtrading? Can it understand when doing nothing is actually the best decision? And most importantly, can it outperform something incredibly simple? For example, I could split the experiment into 2 portfolios. $100 controlled by AI, and another $100 simply invested in Bitcoin and left untouched. Then compare them after 30 days. If the AI turns $100 into 110, but Bitcoin becomes 115, the AI actually lost the competition. And if the AI turns $100 into $80, that's interesting too, because there's a much bigger story here than whether one bot makes $10. We're entering a period where AI systems are being connected to increasingly powerful tools: email, browsers, code, company databases, online stores, and now financial accounts. The important shift is that AI no longer needs to be limited to recommending an action. It can potentially perform the action. And money makes that transition much more serious. If an AI writes a bad paragraph, you regenerate it. If it creates a bad image, you delete it. But if an autonomous agent makes a bad financial decision, the consequence is real, and this creates some obvious risks. What happens if the agent misunderstands your instructions? What happens if its strategy works for 2 weeks and suddenly fails? What happens if it trades too frequently and loses money through fees? What happens if the information it analyzes is misleading? And how much control should we actually give these systems? That's why permissions may end up being just as important as intelligence. Instead of giving an AI unlimited access to everything, the future probably looks more like this. Here's your budget. Here are the actions you're allowed to perform. Here is the maximum amount you can spend. And here are the situations where you need to ask me first. That's essentially how you would manage a human employee. Except this employee is software, and trading may only be the beginning. Imagine giving an AI agent a monthly business budget. It could pay for software subscriptions, buy advertising, compare service providers, purchase cloud computing, cancel unnecessary tools, and constantly optimize expenses.